Alright. When we last left our band of intrepid officers, they had just broken through the spores in the atmosphere and descended through the seemingly permanent snowstorm to find themselves approaching the landing pads for the Imperial facility. As winter vectored the Lord Captain's vessel to the ground, the engine blast had cleared the snow from the platform, revealing that it is indeed a facility that bears the symbol of an order most holy that sends chills down all those smart enough to be wary. This facility belongs to the Inquisition.
The blast from your engines blows clear the snow that covers part of the inquisitorial seal that shines from beneath the smooth glacial surface of the landing pad. This is most definitely an inquisitorial bastion.
Winter will call back into the troop compartment. Guys, I just saw a barred eye on the landing pad.
You want to rock the ship back just a little bit to get a better view, Winter? Currently you're hovering.
I'll lift up and away a little bit and turn on the landing floods, since we're supposedly in safe territory.
As you tilt the vessel forward, you are able to angle the thrusters, and sure enough, the blast of heat and the light from your landing floods illuminates the lower half of what is most definitely the inquisitorial seal.
Jody probably takes in a deep breath. We are in inquisitorial territory. Prepare to behave yourself, your best behavior.
All right, so Winter, it is very cold and windy out there, but you bring the vessel in, and for a second you're not quite sure. You're like, I really wish I had a camera underneath me. And then you set down very softly, like a little snowflake drifting to the ground to join the rest.
Oh boy.
First thing I would say is, can we get direct communications to whoever put out the emergency beacons?
You are able to pick up the narrow band cast of the Administratum codes. It's a series of binary hiccups and screeches that probably only Mouse can understand directly. As for reaching into any other channels, you're not able to find any other open Vox channels except for your own.
Lord Captain, my suspicions seem to have been confirmed. This is an inquisitorial installation. We might not be the only one beholden to answer the call then.
After about a half a minute, you get a slightly crackly, but still relatively clean response. Have you met with or contacted anyone from the installation? Was there anyone there to meet you at the landing pad? They should have picked you up on your way in.
The landing pad was clear but snow-covered. No one to meet us, sir.
After another short delay, then it's entirely possible that there is some critical issue at whatever facility that is. All right, I've drafted up a plan, and I will send it across. Bring Mouse's data slate to the front bay, and I will transfer over your orders so that we can send it over a secure channel rather than me telling you verbally.
You see that she was rapidly clicking on the terminal and recalculating every 3 seconds, and just with her left hand, just flick her index and middle finger towards Lord Captain, and thing goes flying towards him and right into his hand.
That's the information that he sends across. Just 2 things. 1, find out the state of the facility and investigate the cause if it can be done without high potential for loss of life. And 2, if the facility is compromised, acquire or notate anything of value or interest and determine whether a large-scale expeditionary force is necessary.
Lord Captain, your orders are clear and understood.
Very well. Stay safe.
May he guide us on our path.
Nobody splits off from the group. Nobody goes anywhere alone. Nobody goes anywhere unarmed.
Dalvon tries to send a communication code inbound over the emergency code they had sending outbound to see if there's any response.
Okay. So you're gonna basically key on to their channel. You are aware that keying on to the channel while it is live and broadcasting will probably not notify anyone, because the channel is either open or closed from their end. And if they're open constantly broadcasting, they won't pick anything up.
Mouse,
This is Mouse.
can you determine exactly how far the signal is from their communication station is?
Mouse nods, scurrying up into the cockpit so she can use the Lord Captain's more refined technology to try and get a bead on the signal's origin point. After proceeding with a very long sequence of button presses and lever switches, with slight breaks to brush her electude arm over the console between each, she is finally able to determine that the signal is within half a mile of their landing point. It is incredibly close.
You step out onto the landing platform, and the first thing that you notice is that it's very bright out here, because it's snow on snow on snow. The storm that is currently raging about the base makes it very difficult to pick out anything, but the height of the landing pad gives some distinct advantages while surveying the location. The landing pad that you are on is a raised platform meant for the landing of personnel and equipment landers. 5 of these platforms stand in a staggered line and hold fast against the elements. It is difficult to tell whether or not you are able to see the ground from the edge, as it's white on white, but guessing from the stairs, it is at least 10 meters to the ground.
Dalvon would scour the landing pad area.
You head down the stairs and find that it's only about a meter of snow that's built up on top of a more solid base, and you begin searching beneath the central landing pads. And in the snow beneath them, you find a couple of transport containers.
I found a couple of containers underneath well, we got 2 containers down here. Maybe there's something in them.
Tehran comes down, and you start clearing off some of the snow, and you find that these are, in fact, shipping containers. And the sides of them, for what you can uncover as you dig through the snow, you can see they bear Astra Militarum marks. They seem to be locked with a rather powerful electronic lock system, so entry would require breaking through the steel or perhaps thawing them completely and attempting to get it back into repair.
There's no chance that anyone could be alive in these things. They don't have life support systems or anything like that, so I don't know that they're an urgent priority to us.
Probably not, but that means that this place was host to a large military force, as most Imperial bases are, but
May still be. Do we really want to be opening up their equipment before we know the whole story?
no, but this at least tells us some of the story.
Actually, would probably want to investigate those, actually.
This particular crate of goods is a reinforcement crate, which is often sent along with or before reinforcement troops. It is bound for the 43rd Penitent Greybeards Company. It is a Vostroyan regiment.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean, guys? Wooden stock las guns.
Well, yeah, but you'll have to pry them from their cold, dead hand.
That's going to be quite difficult, I would assume, in the current conditions.
Mouse, you are able to determine to the south, there is a series of structures and dips in the land. You have discovered the defensive line area.
She does reach into her bag, and what should be her las gun inside the bag, there is actually a chocolate bar, which she pulls out and takes a bite.
Jesus.
Emperor, damn it, Mouse.
I will investigate the defensive line, since everybody else seems a little too scared to leave the landing pad.
It's mostly that we're supposed to stay in a group, but yes.
So, Tehran, you take your turn and head to the south. And after just a few minutes of travel through the snow, which doesn't slow you down nearly at all, you reach a series of several dozen long and deep trenches and defensive structures that face the edge of the storm, where a veritable wall of greenish-white battles between the snow and the spores of the jungle planet. These structures and trenches seem, at first glance, to be conspicuously clean and clear of the normal battlefield detritus, There are numerous signs that battle has taken place here, including both large craters due to artillery or bombing, and the smaller impact and scorch marks of standard small arms fire.
I am going to attempt to determine what kind of battle was fought here. If I can, presumably one of the sides would be guardsmen, but what can I learn about what happened here?
All right, as you climb down into the particularly shallow, for you, trenches, you stride across the snow and pay more than a fair amount of attention to the heavy crunch of ice beneath your boots. The standard muck that collects in trenches is frozen solid, but your heavy boots and significant weight keep you from sliding around too much. One thing that you do find of interest, though, as you are traveling between a few of the defensive structures, is one of your footsteps that cracked up some of the ice contains the remains of a muddied and blood-spattered journal in the frozen muck. After spending a few moments trying to break it out without destroying it, you're able to glean a small amount of information about what happened here. Unfortunately, the name of whatever soldier the journal belonged to is not anywhere in the intact pages, but he does a very decent amount of reminiscing about how much he particularly hates greenskins. His loathing for them seems to know absolutely no end, and he seems well armored with contempt for the Xeno, which is probably why he has survived the several battles that he talks about with them. He does, however, note in several other footnotes that he hates the heat of the jungle and the spores in the air more than he ever hated the orcs, because the orcs, at least, are a creature that you can kill. The spores get into everything, and the heat is ever present.
So does that seemingly indicate they're wolves on this world or in prior games?
You are unable to find any later pages that contain any details. So if this person passed away on this planet, it would stand to reason that either he stopped writing in his journal before he got here, or more likely, that he fought on this planet against a force of orcs.
Back at the landing pad, Jyoti remains enamored with the maglock containers. Inspecting their exterior further, she latches onto the idea that whatever is inside may be exceedingly useful, and grunts of exertion can be heard as she wedges her combat knife into the seam and attempts to pry it open. Military-grade weaponry is no joke, especially one that was used by her brother during his training and gifted to her. It might not be as keen as the one her brother received when he recovered from receiving his gene seed implants, but it is still masterfully crafted, though sized for a normal human. This is the only reason the blade doesn't snap clean in half, as the container is thoroughly sealed and completely unsympathetic to her plight. Wisely sensing this tactic will be fruitless, she puts the blade to a more finessed purpose, beginning to partially disassemble the electronic components to see if she can effectively hotwire the container to open itself. Mouse, for her part, is attempting to load a scrapcode entertainment algorithm onto a holographic display back on top of the landing pad to see if the terminal can run it. But soon enough, she hears a call from below. Once she opens the panel, Jyoti has realized the wires might as well be a bowl of spaghetti to her eyes, and knows Mouse is their only hope of seeing whatever may lie within.
Give me a minute, will you? I'm in it with the stinking computer for $500,000, and she seems to be playing poker with the holographic.
All right, but seriously, are you going to go down there and help?
But, if they truly want her to go out there and help them,
Yeah, they need your
yeah,
assistance.
She will actually go out there.
Okay, good.
She really didn't want to actually go out there, so she pretty
Drags her feet.
Yeah, she kind of drags her feet. Once she's in the snow, it's up to her waist, and she just kind of grumbles and just kind of waddles forward. And now it's her chest.
It's a meter deep.
Oh, shit.
Yes, it is a meter deep. When she said it's up to her chest, she is not exaggerating. So, Mouse, are you going to retrieve one of the power cells from the lander before you come down to power it?
Yeah, she's actually carrying, she's actually got a makeshift sled going. She's got corded and she's got two of the power cells on this, like,
Oh,
on
let
this
me help
kind
you.
of metal slab, and she's just kind of pulling it along as she's going through the hard-packed part of the snow since Tehran decided to be her snowplow.
Yep. All right, so Mouse is heading down with her little Red Rider wagon.
Yeah.
Winter gets to watch in horror as Mouse goes into the side of the lander and causes part of the console to light up with several warning lights as she pulls two of the spare batteries out of the side of it, and then proceeds to clunk, 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 drag them down the stairs.
Galvan notices this and goes over to help. He's outside and he notices this racket.
Winter is going to make sure the ship will still have enough power to take off again.
Yep, it does.
In that case, she is going to shut down the non-essential systems and go out to join the rest of the group.
Mouse, once you're down there, you have no problem hooking it up, and even less of an issue turning the front panels of the interface on. The vent ports on the top of it drop away and fold over onto the side as a pair of storm bolters rises out of the top of the unit. A pair of bright red lights shine out from the front of them as the pintle mounts begin to swivel and attempt to acquire targets.
Oh boy.
With that hair-raising cliffhanger, the party scoped down by a pair of turrets with their strongest fighter off elsewhere, will bring today's episode to a close. My hair would be on end too, if I still had any in this form. Thank you for watching, and thanks to our wonderful supporters that make up our little community, watching us stream the best available and everything else you see on this channel live to our supporter-only Discord. It's quite active in there, with many playing in these games or others, and even running their own. This channel wouldn't exist without each and every one of you, which is why I read each and every name against my crying editor's wishes, starting with those in the power tier. David, Doodlepoodle, Jay Jones, John the Wicked, Sneaky GI, and William Smith. In the planar tier, Darth Cavalier, Gordy Danke, Ice Dragon, Jesse Labrie, Joshua Williams, and Sparkle Lord the Fabulous. In the Adventurer tier, All's Fiction, Bastion Falconwrath, Dragon Tempest, Jeremy B., John R300, Justin, Katie, Mystics, Ty Korzak, and V. In the Quest Giver tier, Bird or the Cage, Breeze Bender, Chris Householder, Emanon, Kyla, Night Archer, ODST Hero, PPNTT807, Robert Mischief, Rio 1990, Samantha, Sephiroth Kurosame, and Slathar Silcom. And in the Townsfolk tier, Adrian, Blizzard Hawk, Biz Adrian, Brett Bemis, Dylan Taylor, Doodle Poodle, Ice Commander, Enrique, Lone Soul 6, Love Bites Back, Mordant Dragon, Okada, Scott Stedman, Sergeant Humpty, Shugenja, Tom Brazeau, and Wicked Ways. A special thank you to our first ever supporter and longest standing supporter, Scion of Magnus, and Sammy Wolf, and as always, I can't forget to mention our creative team, Doodle Poodle, Nala Fontaine, Shadow Wolf, Scorpius187, MC_Cheshire, Thriving Inferno, and the Forever DM, me. Thank you all for watching to the end, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one. Good night, all.